What up, dude?
Oh, that's great.
How's it going, man? Figured I'd break
Good.
out the bag. It's a little early. I mean, we're still 2-1. Got more wins than losses, but I have a feeling I'm gonna need to keep this bag handy here in the next few weeks.
Easily could be 0 and 3. Actually, have been outplayed in every single game.
100% right. Kev, welcome to the Football First podcast. Appreciate you hopping on. Like I said, this is Kev, special guest here today.
Hey,
Candy
I have to
gallivanting around Europe, doing
have to
whatever the
fill in
hell.
for Candy. He's living the high life.
He's not a true Bengal fan.
No, hey, he's actually it's probably good for him to not be around.
Yeah, yeah. We might have him on a specific kind of watch that wouldn't be good. Um, yeah, he might not even be showing up to work. Who knows? But yeah, thank God he hasn't been able to watch. But I'm glad I barely was able to watch on Sunday. I recorded it like I said and watched it back. I couldn't even watch the fourth quarter. Couldn't bring myself to do it. A crushing defeat, 48-10 loss. Absolutely nothing looked good the whole entire time. Kev, let's start off with the offense. I thought that they ran way too many slow developing plays. They ran basically nothing downfield in the first half, from what I could tell. They try to feel out the depth and see what they can get away with, and they can never get away with anything that is not downfield. They're terrible running the ball. I think Noah Fant really was the only one that kind of seemed like he could play, and then he turned the ball over.
And he fumbled in the second quarter.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't really know what to say other than I'm just disgusted at this whole entire performance, offensively.
The first week, a team is kind of finding their groove. The second week, and we're in week three, and this team has regressed. I have here the first half, punt, pick six, punt, field goal, fumble returned, fumble, fumble. It's just unbelievable.
So bad. These are professionals, mind you.
Yeah. Chase Brown, he had 10 carries for a whopping 3 yards. He on the season, he's 47 carries for 93 yards. That's
Jesus.
that's a joke.
It's an absolute joke. And I think that we can kind of go off of that and talk about the offensive line. I mean, that is just speaking of a joke, it's just a laughing stock. It's embarrassing, is what it is. That's exactly what made me want to put that bag on my head for this episode, to be honest. Just because I don't see this offense taking any steps forward anytime soon. Um, who was I telling you the other day via text? Orlando Brown. God awful. I don't think he could look any worse. I thought that he was supposed to be this world beater coming into Cincinnati, and then he's been injury prone and has been sloppy and soft basically week in and week out throughout his whole entire Cincinnati tenure. I might be exaggerating because of recency bias, but he looked awful at least on Sunday. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. It's the same issues we've been talking about for 5 years, even before Burrow, was the offensive line. And it starts at the top down. It has to be something with coaching because, we've spent some money in free agency, Orlando Brown, La'el Collins, Kappa, Karras, all great linemen. And then they come to the Bengals and you might get a year out of them, but it has to be something with the coaching.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, I'll tell you, they just got a new O-line coach this year. I think it was this year. So that is good. I think that that is a sign of maybe better things to come, but you haven't seen one step forward at all from last year. That is what's concerning. But we've had the same O-line coach for I think it was decades, and we saw zero development ever with the offensive line. Every single year, the offensive line was an issue. Every single year. Basically, all they had to hang their hat on for the longest time was Whitworth. Otherwise, they've drafted terribly. Guys that you would think would be good always sucked, and they never wind up putting any pieces together in free agency. They'll go and get guys, but then they're somehow washed up when they get to Cincinnati. I have no idea. They
yeah.
can play well the year prior, and then they look washed up the second they touch the field in Cincinnati. I don't get it.
Yeah.
But I agree with you on the coaching piece. And
Yeah.
kind of going into the, I'm sorry, go ahead,
No,
Kev.
no, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, kind of going into the coaching, I want to touch on this because I feel like this is a, I'm gonna kind of sit on the fence here because I'm playing both sides. I think ultimately, without getting into the defense first and how they played, I think ultimately the way this team goes is because of Zac Taylor. I think the head coach has to be held responsible at some point. When your team plays horrific fundamental football on both sides of the ball, that's on the head coach. The head coach has to hold the coordinators and the players accountable. He has to make sure that the little things are done right so that the big things can be taken care of by themselves. If you do the little things right, the big things get taken care of. The little things like blocking assignments, mental errors, sloppy play, not tackling,
Again,
that is little shit that pee wee football kids can understand and get down. At some point, I think we have to put some blame on the head coach. I don't know
yeah.
what your opinion is on that.
Well, I mean, you start out 2-0, so the last 3 years, well, really, since Zach Taylor's been here, it's slow starts. So
Yeah.
we get out to a 2-0 start. That's great. What was said in the week leading up to the Minnesota game from Zach Taylor to get these guys ready to play? I mean, they came out flat,
Yes.
undisciplined, and completely unprepared. So did he just say, let's pack it in and, better luck next year?
I don't know. I'll
That's
tell you, we certainly aren't getting it from Jake Browning. If you look at his face, he looks like me at work, like just doesn't want to be there. I mean,
Yeah.
he's like just staring like blank face. I've never seen a quarterback look so terrible, just body language and just facial expression wise, while you're currently getting to live out your dream, starting and playing in the NFL when you're just a perennial backup otherwise.
Yeah,
I
well,
don't
and
understand.
and if this organization was serious about winning, the second Burrow went down, they said it was for the year. Okay, we're going to get behind Jake Browning. That's
Yeah,
great. Who's the backup to Jake Browning?
right,
Because we're going to need a backup.
right.
Um, our quarterbacks get murdered. He's
Yeah.
not going to last 15 games or whatever it is. So let's make a trade for. I know Russell Wilson's washed up, or basically, but
I'd love to see him in a Bengal uniform right now, though.
him, uh, Winston. I mean,
Yeah,
get someone in here that's a veteran. That's exactly
I would be eating W's, dude. I would be
something.
Jameis's biggest fan.
And I just kept thinking during that game. I said, if this was the Cowboys, the Eagles, any serious organization, Zach Taylor would have been fired on
100%.
on Monday.
100%.
He'd have been gone. But we know as fans here, for lifelong fans, nothing's going to be done. There's going to be no changes at quarterback. It's just let's ride it. Let's see where we go, and it's nothing's going to change.
Exactly. And Kev, this is what I mean by I was going to play both sides here. I also believe with half of me that you cannot blame the head coach or really even fully the players because of the front office and how they run the organization and how they've ran the organization and continue to do it. They do not put the head coach in a good spot by drafting terribly because they're definitely part of that.
Well, do we have a
They don't,
scouting department?
no,
I mean, we
basically.
we have
It's like me
Duke
and you. Me and
Tobin.
you were scouts. Me and you,
Yeah,
I think, could do a better
I
job.
mean, exactly.
They don't put resources where they need to be. They don't pay players. Now, they, thank God, paid a few over the last few years, but those are guys that I think that people would burn the city down if they didn't pay. They've screwed around with Hendrickson all damn off season, had that be a sideshow for the media and the city of Cincinnati and the players. And they don't treat the players right because you see it in um,
The
that
survey,
survey that
the
they do. They
facilities.
got like an
Yeah,
F or some shit. It's
yeah.
terrible.
Every
So they
year.
obviously don't treat anybody right. And the organization is ran like dog crap. and it's showing, and they don't spend money, and it's rearing its ugly head right now because Burrow was the band-aid that was holding everything together. We knew it last year. Now, now we definitely know it this year.
He covers up for the schemes and the flaws in the offensive line,
Yes.
running for his life, and I know we text or if we're watching the game together on Sundays, we're not surprised if he gets hurt again.
No.
It's not, the first time we were devastated when he blew his knee out, then, the weird the what was it, the calf last year going into the
At risk, God knows
yeah.
what
And
year
then
and when.
it's not even gut-wrenching anymore. I hate to see it happen, but it's not a
It's
surprise.
not a surprise. And we were joking back and forth via text during one of the preseason games when Burrow was running for his life in preseason.
Yeah.
Granted, I thought he should have protected himself much better and had made better decisions there because it's preseason. But you could see the writing on the wall in the first few minutes of the damn preseason, how he was running around and just fighting for his freaking life already.
And that
And I
was
mean,
yeah.
these guys couldn't be more fresh,
Yeah.
and they still looked like dog crap.
Well, and then what are Chase and Higgins doing out there in the third quarter when we're down by 30 points? I mean, just pull
Yeah.
them.
At some point, you have to know that it's not going to get any better. You're not going to win this football game. You might score a few points, but it's not going to make an impact. What's going to make an impact on your season is having your stars.
Yeah,
That's what's going to make an impact to your season and to make it to where it's not a complete shit show and to where it's not a complete embarrassment for the rest of the season. Chalk that game up as an L because it is an embarrassing one at that, and then let's try to win the rest of them,
yeah.
or at least look competent.
Just to go back to, coaching front office, Joe Burrow has been this kind of who's at fault off season, who we were going to sign, spend the money with. I know we screwed around last year, should have signed Chase last year, and then we had to sign, this year. But at some point, the front office need to say, "Hey, we understand you want Higgins too, and you want Trey." They need to say, "We appreciate your input. We're gonna go a different direction. We're gonna spend some money on the offensive line." I mean,
Yeah.
they make the at the end of the day, you want to keep your quarterback happy, but they can say no to Joe Burrow.
Yeah. I think that's a great point. That is a great point. You gotta get away from a little bit of the glitz and the glam of the flash players. When granted, you need weapons offensively. You need weapons, but Joe Burrow is the type of player that can make any receiver look good. I
Yeah,
think it was you that texted me that yesterday when we were BSing about it and complaining. Burrow is one of those guys that can make anybody look good, and you can have more role player types at wideout, at your slot, that can make a big impact without having a top 15 receiver in the league there. Granted, you're going to have Chase, who is top three, but that's all you need as far as star power goes. And then
Tom
have a
Brady
good
did it
running
his
attack. And how you do that is you get a good offensive line you spend, like you
yeah,
said. Spend
Tom
up front.
Brady did it his whole career except for the 1 or 2 years he had Randy Moss. I
Right.
mean, he made people Pro
Yep.
Bowlers.
Yeah.
So and you watched the Monday night game. Wouldn't it have been nice to have Soul on your
Oh
on
my
your team?
gosh, yeah. I was gonna maybe bring that up on another show, but yeah, at this point, you're almost wondering, you dare to ask yourself, was Sewell the right pick at that time? Knowing what we know now, was Chase the best pick to make? And like passing on Sewell, was that the smartest decision? We'll never know. Chase was definitely a hit and is playing out of his mind every year, but could some of these injuries and setbacks in Burrow's career have been avoided?
Well,
We'll
I
never
just
know.
I look at Detroit, and that could have been us building the offensive line first, putting the
Yeah,
pieces around Joe Burrow, getting a good, second round wide receiver. But you watched Detroit last night. It's like, man, that should be us,
should be
and
us. 100%.
we're paper mache up there. I mean,
Yeah.
it's horrible.
It's terrible. It's terrible, Kev, and I don't know what else to really say about it besides just more and more negativity and more of the same. So if you want, I know we just kind of talked an overview, but if you want to just talk a little bit about this Bengals D, we don't have to We don't have to dwell on it. We can talk about this Bengals D and how terribly they played on Sunday, and then we'll just get move on to Monday night. I just think that week in and week out, they just play like dog crap. I think they don't even keep contain on the edge. Those defensive ends don't even keep contain, which is a fundamental thing to do in defensive football, especially for the edge player. Um, the linebacker play is terrible. They find themselves in good spots a lot of the time, but then they never wrap up. Logan Wilson constantly runs himself out of the play, takes terrible angles. They have zero pass rush. They have a lot of I was gonna say they have covered sacks, but I don't even think that they have those. If they do have sacks, they're because they were covered somehow. I don't know what else to say about them.
Now, I,
I got
I
Bernie
honestly,
freaking out.
I
He's
honestly
pissed.
I didn't think the first. Now it's been a couple days since I've watched the game, and I definitely didn't go back and watch the highlights. But I thought at least the first quarter, that first drive by the Vikings, they got two, I thought, kind of terrible calls against the Bengals. They called, I
Yeah.
think, was it Britt with the chop block or low block, which he didn't even touch the wide receiver. So they got 30 yards on penalties right there. But they were getting a little pressure. They had 3 sacks in the first half. So when you turn the ball over that much, it's a backbreaker for the defense. So they didn't play outstanding, and they weren't putting a ton of pressure on Carson Wentz. The second half, I think they stayed in the locker room.
Yeah.
I know we joke about that a lot, but it's just no one wanted to be on that field. And I get it at a point, but you're still getting a paycheck.
Yeah. Now I will say, okay, if I have to take a step back because I will overreact and just be super critical on the defense, especially out the gate. And I unfortunately had seen the end score, so I just knew what type of game it was. So I kind of had a negative connotation watching it. Like you said, they were in the game in the first half, going into halftime. What was it, 17-3? They had a
We're
chance. The,
driving
the
down the
offense,
field.
yeah, the offense had a chance, and then they turn the ball over, and then you put the defense in a terrible position, and then they dick around. That was so horrible. The end of that half was just disgusting. Um, but yeah, you can't blame it on the defense, like you're saying. You cannot. The offense is playing like crap and turning the ball over. You put your defense in bad positions. You can only expect so much. But I think we could both agree they're not playing well. Their fundamentals are horrible. They have to learn to tackle. And to be honest, it's just like the offensive line. It's like I don't know what to do, like what I would tell them to do. What do you do besides just get better players? I don't know.
We get a new defensive coordinator in. I haven't really seen especially the preseason. I was like, oh, this is going to be worse than last year. The
Yeah.
tackling, and they said, oh, we're just playing, vanilla defense. We have these couple set plays, no matter what they run, we're going to run these. The biggest thing that, like you've said, is tackling. Tackling in the angle of attack is just.
You learn that from second grade up.
And you watch other teams on Sunday playing, and we're like, why can't the Bengals be like this?
Yeah.
It's just a totally different level of play, and it's
Yeah.
frustrating.
It's extremely frustrating. And like I said, I don't know where to go with my thoughts on this team whatsoever. I'm extremely disgusted with them with how they played. Granted, they're 2-1. If Burrow was playing, we'd have a whole entire different outlook. But without your stud at quarterback and the way that they played on Sunday, you are only thinking that worse things are to come,
Yeah.
unfortunately. Because we're going to get in the meat of the schedule here.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But wouldn't it be the Bengals' luck that we're 2-1,
Yeah.
the Chiefs are 1-2, the Ravens are 1-2, and it's
Dude, it's anyone's year.
yeah, this would have been the year that'd been like, okay, we got off to a
Yeah.
semi-hot,
Finally.
actually a really hot start for the Bengals.
Yeah.
Last year we're at 0-3 right now.
Yeah.
So it's the Cincinnati curse.
It is. It is. And unfortunately, it's probably just going to get worse. And it's probably going to get worse on Monday night, unfortunately, in prime time where everyone's going to be watching, maybe. Maybe everyone will get some sleep early. I don't know. I might. But Broncos, they're 1-2. Their only win is against the Titans in week one, 20-12. Lost to the Colts 29-28 and the Chargers 23-20. Granted, those were on the road, two close ball games.
Should have beat the Colts.
Yeah, they're a capable ball club, man, and the Colts are actually playing well. Danny Dimes playing super well there from what I was watching today on Pat McAfee show. But yeah, Titans, we know they're not good. And then yeah, they lost to a couple good ball clubs in tight games on the road. So this is a capable team led by a great coach and a young, seemingly stud quarterback with a few weapons on offense, and then Denver's going to have a good defense. So, I mean, I don't know what to think about this game. I think it's going to be pretty bad
Yeah.
if I
Well,
had to guess.
yeah. So they lost to the Colts on that field goal, last second field goal after they missed it, the 60-yarder, and they called that when you run into the center or whatever that's. You would
Yeah,
probably know what that is. So they got to redo that. So they should be 2-1. That's neither here nor there. Um, their offense is kind of really isn't clicking on all cylinders.
yeah,
Bo Nix is off to a little bit of a rough start. I know he was kind of a is this going to be the quarterback that takes that next step?
yeah,
Second year quarterback. My biggest fear is J.K. Dobbins.
yeah,
He's Ohio State boy. He's come back from a couple injuries. He could have a monster game against.
yeah. I
Uh,
mean, he's averaging 5.4 yards a carry.
yeah,
So,
he-
and this offense as a whole is 5.2 yards a carry. So, we can expect them to attack via the ground early and often. And this defense, as you've seen, they can be ran all over. So if they have a good ground attack, they can take the top off this offense, and maybe we can kind of see some of the arm strength of Bo Nix and see some of his capability with a guy like Cortland Sutton over the top. And it might get ugly. It has a shot to. So if you
yeah.
don't stop that run, it's going to get bad.
Well, we have to have some drives on offense that go more than three and out.
Yeah.
Give our guys some breathers. You're in Denver. That the air there is thin, so guys are
Yep.
going to be gasping for
Sucking
air.
wind. Yep.
Yeah. But we don't have many drives that are more than three and out right
Yeah.
now. So we got to do something here. And the runs up the middle, the run out to the outside, just up the gut. The, again, 47 carries for 93 yards on the year. Zac Taylor needs to wake up.
Absolutely. Absolutely has to. It's critical for this team to start playing better. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know what else to really say about it. It's just it's an embarrassment to the city right now. And yeah, I mean they have no choice. You can't get beat much worse.
Well, his
So
his buddy down in Tennessee just gave up play calling duties. So I don't know. Maybe Zach should think about that.
yeah, maybe we'll just have to try something new. You've got nothing to lose, man. Try something new. Your job, I don't think it's going to be on the line. This organization doesn't really fire coaches like that. But it's like, dude, everyone thinks you're going to be on the hot seat if you continue to lose. And I mean, the city's going to start getting pissed off if they're not already. And it's going to get ugly, man, if they keep losing. So try something new. Try something new out, like you said, and see if we can catch a spark.
What do we have to lose? I mean,
Exactly. Nothing.
no, nothing at
Burrow's
all.
out. It's already over. So I didn't want to be this negative going into last week, going into that Vikings game. I honestly was positive. I thought that they'd come in and maybe win. And I thought we were going to see the Bengals kind of do what they did. What was it, a couple years ago when Browning kind of had him going?
2023. Yeah.
I thought we might see a little something like that, and then maybe I had a glimmer of hope of Burrow coming back in the last few weeks, but that's all over now, in my opinion. Granted, that's a jump to a conclusion. I jumped to a terrible conclusion, but I don't know.
Well, what's the schedule? So we're in Denver, then the Lions the week after,
Yeah, I gotta see.
and then Green Bay. I had
I'm
it
pulling it
pulled
up right
up, but
now.
if you don't win this
Oh,
game,
yeah, it's gonna start getting ugly. Like we said, it's the meat of the schedule. You said so Monday night Broncos, and then we got at the line or versus the Lions at home, and
425.
then yep at Lambeau another 425, and
Yeah.
then we got is that Thursday night football versus the Steelers or is
Yes.
that Sunday night? Okay, Thursday
I
night
think, well,
football
I
versus
don't, I don't know what's the date.
10-16, but either way, it's gonna get yeah, that's Thursday night football. It's gonna get tough. It's gonna get really tough, and they just have to find something within themselves on both sides of the ball to just get the job done and squeak out some wins. I mean, we need to salvage something. And I don't know if I see it happening on Monday night versus a pretty decent ball club in Denver. Now, Kev, Bengals are 7.5 point dogs, and it looks like the over/under is 44. Do you have a specific prediction at all for this?
Um, I don't have a specific score. I definitely think Denver covers.
Yeah. I wanna say like
Based off of last
27-13.
week, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't see. I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah. I think 27-13 and it might get uglier than that. Um but yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens, man. And I don't know if you want to say any specific keys to the game or anything if we just kind of want to cut it off there, but I think for me just the keys of the game, basically just get back to fundamental football. Block who's in front of you, run the ball, and then on defense, stop the run and freaking tackle. Make good plays by running the ball carrier down at a good angle and tackle. Pursuit, tackle, club, punch, rip at the ball, get a turnover, protect the ball on offense, establish the run.
Yeah.
Go play football like you know how to play.
Yeah, I would just say it all starts with the offensive line. I really think this team is going to go as far as the offensive line takes them. Same way with the D, but really the offensive line, giving Jake Browning some time, have to get the ground game going. And then I would
Absolutely.
like to see Zac Taylor have a little fire on the sidelines. You
I
know,
know, man.
those faces that he's over there on the sidelines, just you're like, just if that was Dan Campbell, I'd
Oh,
be
he'd be
scared to go in
pissed.
that locker room.
Yeah.
He's a big coffee drinker.
Oh, big, big. Yeah, he's like a Coach O that would have like 14 monsters a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Um,
dude's heart's on blast. Yeah, I don't know what's Zach Taylor needs a little he needs to be ripping some yellow jackets before the game, dude. Hit
yeah.
some gas
But
station pills.
something to light a fire under these guys because
Yeah,
they cannot come out. I mean, it'll be a total collapse if they come out again like this and get blown
yeah.
out. The season, you just pack up.
Well, buddy, let's hope that that doesn't happen. I know you'll be tuning in, I'll be tuning in, and um, with nothing but hope and just hoping that, like you said, they get their heads out of their asses and they start playing like professional football players. I at least want to see some damn fight and I want to see some grit, especially at the line of scrimmage, especially on the offensive side of the ball, on the offensive line. And I want to see some fire in their eyes, like you said. And that starts with the head coach down. And yeah, that's kind of my outlook for the game, man. I'm just going to be watching with hope, and but my expectations are low.
Yeah. Well, hey, I would say I would give anything to see Mike Brown back on that podium at the AFC Championship in a trench coat in some non-Bengals hat that he was sitting on all game. I would do
Rocking the
anything.
all beige, the tannable, the
Yes,
tannable. I
I
need
would
him
give
back, dude.
anything.
Yeah, yeah, that's a whole nother thing. But yeah, the no Bengals gear and well, yeah,
Just you would
that's just
never
so
know.
bad. That just describes what's going on right now. That
Yeah,
describes everything. But anyway, Kev, thanks so much for being a guest on here today. Really appreciate your insight. I love talking ball with you, especially Bengals. You know your team and you speak eloquently about them, so really appreciate your takes. And thanks for humoring me today. And hopefully we get a couple of views on this one. So really appreciate it, man. And sorry it's kind of a downer of one, but that's kind of the state of Cincinnati right now. But
that's
thank
right.
you very
Hey,
much.
I'll fill in for Candy anytime.
Sounds good, man. We might have to have you as a recurring guest.
Have me in the booth like going to Gene.
Yeah. Let, we got to go to Sig here with this one. What do you think
All
here,
right,
buddy?
all right, brother.
All right, man. I'll see you, buddy. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. See ya.
See ya.